about the rule of thirds, and I'm going to use some of my pictures to demonstrate that although it is not a hard and fast rule, the best way to kind of learn how to live within this, I would call it a rule of thumb, not a hard and fast black and white rule, is to just look at other photos. And so if you remember the rule of thirds, I'll pull it up for you, is showing your focal point of your image in one of the thirds of your images. So if you envision, I love this one, if you envision like a tic-tac-toe game on the top of your photo and you see these little circles here, they are showing you where your focal point should lie. And so you can be in the top half of this, the bottom half of this. It's not just these 4 points, but it's a guideline. And so as you'll see, as we look at some of my photos, this is a perfect classic example. If you think about the crosshairs here where I'm drawing my mouse, that sweet little baby is going straight through that one crosshair. And so that is a really, really perfect version. This is a less than perfect version. So if we blew this up and we envisioned our crosshairs, the eyes kind of fall. The eyes of this sweet little baby fall within the crosshairs. Really just this one horizontal line that would be going across, if you can visualize that. So we're not necessarily off-centering her entire body, but we're making sure that the eyes, which is always the focal point when you're taking portraits, is lying within one of those lines that we figuratively draw on our image. This little fella, his focal point is his belt buckle. And so same thing here, the focal point kind of lies on this half, this third of the image. Sometimes you don't have a way to completely follow the rule. And so this is a great example of filling the frame. We'll talk a lot about filling the frame. So I always say, if you're going to break the rules, break them big. So if you're going to break the rules, fill your frame with your subject and make sure that those focal points, which is those eyes, are completely filling the screen. This is a great example of me not really following the rules, but it still works. The goal here, anytime you're composing an image, is to tell your reader where to look. If you think about when you write, you're telling your reader where to look. You're telling them the story. You're telling them what is most important. So when you're taking a picture, it is no different. You want to tell that viewer or the person reading your photo where to look. And so if there's too much going on, then they're confused, they don't know what to look at, and it's hard to interpret. But this is a great example of something that has a lot going on. There's 3 people, there's a background, there's snow, but we still draw that rule of thirds in your mind. The people are still kind of composed within that image and within the top third of that image. So that little fella here, we're wanting you to tell the story of, hey, it's snowing, it's beautiful, we're an awesome family playing in the snow, playing with our little boy. Sometimes pictures don't tell a very complex story, but they tell a story nonetheless. This is my little nugget, Hunter, and she is in the third, this third of the image on this side. If she was completely centered, it wouldn't show movement. So if you look at this, the snow is being thrown at her, and you can see how, as I'm pointing with my mouse, that there's movement here. And so I had to have some open space over here, some negative space, so that we could see, oh, look, there's like movement. There's something happening behind her. She's probably running toward the snow. There's snow coming at her. She closes her eyes. We're having so much fun in the snow. That's the story. Like I said, the stories aren't that complicated. This is another one. Draw those crosshairs in your mind. You see how the people are in this bottom third of the photo. And so that's a really great example of, there's a lot going on here, but the story is, hey, we're one big happy family. And look, we're standing in front of this building. They're ag people. They wanted to stand in front of a building that had something to do with ag. And so it was the perfect opportunity for us to kind of line up this very big family with lots of people in front of this image and have your eye know exactly where to look, but there's still some interest and there's still a story being told. So I hope that helps you understand the rule of thirds and that you can start employing it in your own photography.